Hey everyone, welcome to Sketchaday Live. It's a beautiful morning, beautiful Sunday morning. Hey Marzi, Mystery, Charlene. Hopefully your baby doesn't wake up too soon. Apologies for the slightly delayed start here. Getting my bearings. It's been actually a hell of a morning. I'll update you all. I didn't even know if I was gonna be live today because so I woke up this morning and my cell phone number was spoofed. Someone had, and I guess this is the thing. I think it's called an ISI number. Anyhow, someone like stole my phone ID, removed it from my account. I couldn't connect to the cell network here. And I was just like, oh crap, what's happening? Next thing you know, I'm getting password reset requests in my email. And I'm like, this is not okay. So frantically went through that process with these self providers. So I'm a little bit frazzled, but I am here streaming on just YouTube today. Maybe I'll kick on the old Twitch. So yeah, my hey Trackstar, my phone number was copied, right? Which basically means if you have two-factor authentication, like that's not okay. At least if you use your cell phone. So anyhow, everything's okay. I think if the hacker is watching this, nice try. But if not, secure your accounts, people. There are a lot of smart, enterprising people out there. So yeah, that was a rough way to start the day. Oh my gosh, like I was like shaking. I had thoughts of like bank accounts and other stuff being compromised because a lot of times people use two-factor authentication to secure things, but sometimes it's tied to phone numbers, sometimes it's tied to authenticator apps, which happen to be more secure. Hardware keys if you can. So I've got to do a whole security revamp this week, which is never fun. I don't know if you've ever had anything like that happen, but it's never fun. So that being said, happy Sunday. We're kind of combining things. I've been busy and putting together a video for a client, so I've been recording footage for that and working on it, trying to get that done. So gonna keep it tight today. I know exactly what two things I want to do. Well, three technically, because it is a combo fan appreciation day for you, but also sci-fi related, and we're gonna kick off the weekly challenge for this coming week. So I'm glad I worked it out too. It was a hellish 2 hours this morning. Oh man. And I'm still like not even it's like I don't know if you've ever had your house broken into before or not. I have. And or house, car, personal stuff stolen. It feels it rattles you is what I'm saying. It rattles you a bit. So that being said, I'll be okay. I'll settle in, but it usually takes a little bit to kind of trust that things are okay and it won't happen again. That's just the nature of life, but holy cow. I was nervous for a minute there. Like, just wow. Anyhow, hope you're all well. Hello, FJ. Hello, everyone. So, I'm going to be doing a little bit of review of some of your sketches. And if I do pop up one of yours and you'd like some specific feedback, let me know. If you don't know what that is, you can always check out the Discord, sketchaday.com/Discord, and you can join the weekly sketch challenge. All right. So last week, the theme for the weekly sketch challenge was vintage or nostalgia. So I did some steampunk stuff. I'll just pull that up here. Did a steampunk dude and a few other things. I think I did. Hopefully I didn't delete them. Oh, it was in Fresco. That's right. I was using Adobe Fresco. All right. So last time, did this steampunk character. Whoa, we got new stuff in Fresco. Hopefully it's saved. All right, there we go. did this dude, Zordar, I believe we decided. Silas Xavier Zordar. We also did, I don't have him here with me, but we did, or I did rather, vintage radio, a couple other things. So let's see what y'all have been up to. Let's go, oops, let's go Discord, not Safari. Discord. All right, so we got Charlene with a portable cassette radio player here. These are, I mean, do you remember these? Walkman? Sony revolutionized everything, so nice job. I like the projection lines. I think that's a great way to go if you're trying to figure out shapes and forms and so forth. It's a great step-by-step approach. We got a perspective view here, and you know how we do, Charlene. I'm gonna take a screenshot here. Let's throw this into Procreate, and I'm gonna use this. We're gonna do a sketch here of your radio. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff happening. Let's go back to Discord, and there it is. Pretty cool. I haven't seen one of these in so long. It just made me pause. It's been a minute. It's a little bit harder to draw something that you see, I think, because it's it's easy to compare. You know, if you're drawing something from your imagination, you can get away with a little bit more. So, nice work. Good job there. We got Mystery coming in with the heat as always. Thank you, Mystery, and hello in the chat. Good night. You said it's nighttime, I think. All right, so we got this Sony cassette here. Nice job on the pencil and pen work as always. Ooh, Apple Lisa, that's a fun one. I don't know if any of you had this computer back in the day, but it certainly brings back some memories. I didn't have the Lisa. My family and we had Apple clones, but man, this is back when you would use, you know, floppy disks to load programs, and these floppy disks were 512 kilobytes in storage capacity, or 256 kilobytes, not megabytes, not gigabytes, not terabytes, kilobytes. It's crazy time. It's amazing to think back, but nice work, Mystery. Oh, and the original Mac, beautiful, very simple, designed by Frog Design, I believe. Oh, and this is great, Mystery. Nice to see the progress shot here. That's a fun one to show. Charlene says, the gray markers plus my pen made everything purple. Yeah, if you're using a ballpoint pen, and maybe I'll go over a little bit of marker and pen and kind of give you some watch outs and tips as well. I guess I can do the resketch with marker and pen. That would probably be better. Okay, so appreciate the submissions. I'm just making sure I didn't miss any here. There's also the Show Your Work channel. Hasn't been super bumping this week, but that's okay. So that was the weekly sketch challenge from last week. Nostalgia. All right, I'll announce the challenge for this coming week in a bit. But first, let's kick things over here to my desk. Whoa. And I'm gonna do this with pen and paper because Charlene's was with pen and paper. I think it'd be good. All right, I am gonna use marker paper though. But I do want to show you some stuff. So here's a paper mate flare that is dry and dead. We'll just do a quick pen test here. All right, so it's always good to test your pens. So we've got Papermate Flare. Some of this test is available on my website as well. All right. So if you go to sketchaday.com, oops, not Bic, Cristal pen. All right. And then let's do this Pilot giant marker. All right, so there's the Pilot, and I'm just gonna make strokes for each of these. That's what I'm doing. All right, so a couple strokes here. Yeah, the progress sketch is awesome, Mystery. All right, got some ballpoint pen here. Interesting note on ballpoint ink. It's actually a paste. I don't know if you knew that. So it's a paste inside the pen, and that's what's transferred onto the paper. And then we've got Micron, of course. All right, so we got some Micron sauce here. And let's see, what else can I throw in the mix? What else? Let's put some more Micron ink down. Let's see if I got any pens here that y'all would be using as well. I think this covers a lot of it. There's also a Copic brush pen I can show you. So this is just a Copic brush. I'm pretty sure this one won't bleed, but I'll just do a quick test here. All right, so throw some ink down. Okay, and now just get a marker, whatever marker you're using. Typically, if you're using an alcohol-based marker, the results should be consistent across that type of ink. So you don't have to like test every single marker, but I do have a chart pack marker, which is xylene based. So that is the solvent inside the marker that makes the ink flow. Makes the ink flow. So, sorry, I got a message from my cell provider. I was like, oh, did something else happen? But we're good. They're just following up. Okay, so now I can kind of test here, and it looks like the pilot is bleeding a little bit, and you can kind of see, well, you can't see, but I can. So if I zoom in here, right, you can kind of see what's happening. There's a little bit of bleed right there. Okay, looks like the ballpoint pen's fine. So if you're going to be using a ballpoint pen, a xylene based marker works really well. And not all of these inks will play well with the xylene marker, but it is a reliable marker to use if you're using ballpoint. Janos is asking, have you thought about writing a book? I am working on a collection of things right now. That's all I'll say. But I'm working on a digital guide. I've had to push pause on it a little bit, but that'll be the next piece. And then there's a few other pieces that I'm going to hold off on until I publish something. So for now, if you want, you can check out the marker and pen guide. Great way to support what I'm doing here. All right, so this is just a regular alcohol marker, and you can kind of see what happens with the ballpoint pen here. With this xylene pen, the pilot seems to be fine. This Unipen seems to be fine. I've run into problems with the Micron though, and you can kind of see when you put down enough ink, the Micron pen, which is an expensive pen, but it kind of bleeds with alcohol markers, so just something to be aware of. All right, Papermate Flare, solid, doesn't bleed, doesn't get messed up. Of note as well, Sharpies tend to bleed with alcohol-based markers, or sometimes, not always, but here's a Sharpie, for example. So come in here and just kind of saturate this. It's maybe not so much a bleed as a bluing of the ink, and it's very subtle and hard to see, but if you look at, and I could do this with a yellow marker and it would be the same thing, but or even this red marker, but you get a little bit of blur, some bluing that happens with that Sharpie. So I don't particularly love using Sharpie with just this permanent marker, right? Permanent ink. So you get a little bit of bleeding. All right, cool. So let's take a look at Charlene's sketch again. And I'll just throw this up for reference real quick. What is happening? Okay. All right, so let's go to weekly sketch challenge and all right, so I'm going to focus on this view that Charlene has here of her Walkman. So that's what I'm looking at as reference. If y'all want a screenshot, put a pin in it, that's fine. But I'm going to be working analog, so it's hard for me to put that up on the screen at the same time. I guess I could, technically. I could. Alright, I could throw that in. I think I know a way to do that. Alright, so that's what I'm going to be working with. Alright, and I'll just go over a couple quick technique things here, and then I'll do my sketch or two for today's Sci-Fi Sunday session. Alright, let's see. I just need to do some behind the scenes stuff here. And I'm going to okay. It's probably not the best way to do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. Most likely not the best way, but we'll do it this way. All right, so we now have Charlene's sketch here. Let's zoom out. Oops, zoom out a little bit so you can kind of see the reference right there. Okay, so if you want to use ballpoint pen, you can, Charlene, like I said. So it's just a matter of hold up. Just a matter of using the right marker, or working lightly enough, right? You don't want to put down all your lines super heavy right away. I think you did a good job, like I said, of laying everything out though. So nice work there. Let's see. I'm like doing 5 things at once, sorry. So let's see. All right. So you kind of started with your 3 view setup, which, as always, is a good way to go with products like this. All right. You can kind of have your 3 views here, looking at different angles. And I'm going to try and interpret this. It may not be exactly the same thing. Actually, maybe I'll just pull it up on my iPad as well, so I can kind of glance at it from the side. All right, perfect. So I'm looking at this as well off to the side, okay? Just letting you guys know, I've got this photo that Charlene posted. All right. So this Walkman looks like there's a simple arc at the bottom here, and then you've got this funky window, something like this. There for your tape, little zigzag wiggle right there. Another window of some sort, a triangle. Man, this is back when design was like aesthetically very different. Imagine finding a product like this now, right? All right, from the side, looks like it has some cross section like that. We have some buttons here. I'm gonna try and capture. Looks like 3 buttons. All right, 3 buttons right there. And similar thing. There's the front. All right, we'll project over, get this button bank in. So I may not capture all the same details because I don't actually have this with me, but let's go ahead and draw one. So I'm going to start with a nice outline of a wireframe. All right, just rough proportion. Now, you could do this with alcohol markers or xylene if you're careful. So with the alcohol markers, what I like to do is sketch very, very lightly, all right, to start. Now, since this thing's rounded on all corners, I'm just going to round the corners of my cuboid here to start. If you want to draw through, you can draw through as well, all right, just figure out proportionally what's happening. This corner is going to be rounded, so I'll just throw 2 quick lines here, even a line there, and just use this as my part line for the front. I probably drew this a little bit longer than it should be, but just throw in an arc like so, and now I can map out where this other detail on the front is. All right, something like this. So you can rough things out. But again, I'm working really light because I don't want to, let's see. Okay. I'm just trying to catch this kind of weird jog here. I know there's some text on this product, and I'm also drawing this at a weird angle. I'm having to like rotate it in my head. So that's also interesting. All right. But something like this. I might shorten this up a little bit, actually. Let's shorten this up. Just a touch. All right. So now I'm going to do the button bank. Looks like we have a volume knob or wheel or something here. Sketch that in real light. All right, this is really just a section of an ellipse, so that should kind of tell you the shape of the wheel. All right, and once you're used to that, it's really easy to go ahead and sketch those things. Just throw in a gap here. Just a little bit of a gap. And now for the button bank, I'll just mark the limit and you can offset like so. Zoom out a little bit so you can see a bit more here. Hello, Mecha Art. May the gerb guide my arts. Thank you. Sorry, Salmon, about the reference covering some of the drawing. Let me see if I can squeeze this down a bit. Maybe there, something like that. And I'll try and keep the paper here so it's not too covered up, all right? Now, also looking at this product, it seems that the sides are a little bit curved. So as I do this, I'm gonna go ahead and modify this so there's a little bit of curve there. A little bit of curve in the front. Right, and on the top here. So just slightly curve these lines. And now we'll do our buttons. So just frame this out. Divide this into roughly thirds, like so. Round that out. Some big chunky buttons too. So the theme this last week was vintage, nostalgia. Love the submissions. Mystery, awesome work. As always. So for the patrons and channel members, I'm going to be launching a new feature for memberships soon. I think you'll love it. It's along the lines of what I'm doing here, but a little bit more intimate session, I guess you could say. Not as big of a group or crowd, but it'll be a chance for you to get some feedback on whatever you're working on. Just open-ended feedback sessions. All right. So I'll announce a little bit more as time goes on. Our little contour line here. There. All right, cool. Looking good. And then let's see, we have these buttons on the, or these dimples, I should say, on the front. So I'm going to throw some light lines in, and then I can map these out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. All right, that way I kind of know exactly where I want to put those. All right, and I'm anticipating some sort of shadow. Just do a drop or context shadow for this guy. And then maybe we'll do some sort of vintage style background element for this page. Kicking it old school. All right, so Charlene, you kind of, ooh, that's a good idea, Mecha. That's a really good idea. Short answer is yes. I'm trying to, as always, figure out balance in all things in life. So, open to those suggestions for sure. All right, so I'm gonna grab some gray markers here. Since you use gray alcohol markers, let's see if I can use this. All right, so you got different kinds of gray here. We got some lighter gray on this product and darker gray as well. Again, for reference. Yeah, shadows, line weight, outlines, and I don't know if this is helpful so far. I hope it is. But as far as the marker technique goes, yeah, bro, I'll show you a couple things. So again, all my lines are super light right now, right? So work light till you get it right. At least that's what I try to do always. And then you can kind of build things up. All right, so looking at this product, like I said, there are some lighter areas. So I'm gonna start with this like nice light gray. All right, now because the ballpoint is kind of light on the paper, it's not gonna bleed as much as if I had full strokes. And I'm also trying to be quick with those strokes. You can see a little bit of bluing, but with our line weight, we're gonna clean that up quite a bit. All right, I've also got some dark sections here. Let's kind of fill in. I think I know who you're talking about, Mecha Art. I forgot his name. Does he do comic book art stuff as well? Or am I imagining things? Am I imagining things? I'm not sure. All right, so there's a window here. I'm not really going too heavy on the marker because I'm trying to pick the right tone for this main portion first, and then we'll go all in. Prismacolor markers are good and pricey, and they can't be refilled. I don't know how much they run these days, actually. How much does a Prismacolor marker run these days? It's been a long time since I've used one. I used to use them when I was in college, but I really haven't. All right, so how do you shade this front portion, right? Got this darker material here, so I'm just gonna outline like so. I'm gonna start with a cool gray 3 actually, and kind of catch this edge where there'd be a shadow core. Same thing here. Just kind of shade this in, and we'll build up our tone as we go. Also, Charlene, I don't know if you're using marker paper or not, but that can also be helpful. I'm using marker paper. All right, so a little bit of bluing there, but not too bad. For 20, they can call 80. It costs 80. That's a little bit cheaper. What's up, Latrice? How you doing? What was your first tape, Latrice? Like, first tape that you bought? Is that what y'all mean? This cool grade 5 is dry. All right, looks like we're gonna get a little live ink refill today. So where's my cool gray 5? I got one here. I know I have one open though, so I don't want to open this. But with Copics, like Mecha was saying, you can get refills. So these are all inks. Those are some of the many inks that I have, I should say. Here's some more. Okay, so I know I have one that's open. There we go. There's my cool gray 5 that's open. So let's do a quick refill. Because I was lazy and I didn't do my job and refilled for the show. But on the plus side, you get to see how it works. I've done it before, so if you've never caught it before, there's the ink. They don't sell these anymore officially in this specific size. There's a new ink that's cheaper, so if you can find these, that's awesome, but they're kind of hard to find. All right, so let's go with this guy. So this is It's like a giant needle. I've actually poked myself with it before. You might say I have ink in my veins. I've got that inks in my veins. Disney rap album. I didn't even start listening to the radio till I was like 13 years old, maybe. My kid now is listening to music and it's really cute. He's like, Dad, I really like Flume. I'm like, okay, cool, man. Can appreciate that. Flume. All right, FJ. Take care. I'm glad you found it. Okay, so I'm skipping steps here, but with Copics you can pull the tip out. So I've pulled the tip of this marker out the chisel side. The brush tip you can pull out, but I wouldn't recommend doing it. The chisel is a lot easier to work with. So pull that out, and then I just realized my hands are ashy, so I'm gonna lotion in between. So now I've got this bottle. I can squeeze it, and you'll see what happens here. I hope. Did this thing get blocked up? Maybe it did get blocked up. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we got some ink out. Looks like some ink got dried in there. Anyhow, so I can shove this in. There's a porous, I guess, cartridge on the inside. So I can shove this in pretty far and now squeeze and then release. Back in, squeeze, release. All right, and you'll see, oh, now my marker's working. Cool. I don't want it to get too juicy. All right, so I'll leave some at the tip here. Okay, just kind of prime that. Shove this in, and what I like to do before I put the chisel tip in is I'll just kind of saturate the chisel tip like so. Just put a little ink on it, let it soak in, shove that back, and just kind of hit it a couple times. All right, you don't want to make it too saturated. Hey, NYC everything, thank you so much for your contribution as always. You are coming in clutch again, so thank you. I messed up there, but it's okay, because I am going darker. All right, so now I've got my 50% refilled here, and I can use that. I don't typically freak out when I make a quote-unquote mess on a sketch, because I do believe that in most cases you can fix things. NYC everything, thank you. All right, so now I can just come in and start to shade this. So with marker ink, it is translucent, right? So if I hit it a couple times, and you can kind of wake up, I call it waking up the ink. You can kind of wake up the ink that's already there. And that's how you create blends with your markers. So on this one, I'm gonna have to use, I think, some white ink as well, but now we're kind of getting this as dark as I want it to be on the front here. I guess I could have used a warm gray. The photo Charlene has looks a little bit more like a warm gray, but it's okay. And so I don't poke myself, I'm gonna go ahead and recap this. Boom, there we go. All right, so now on this side, I'm starting with my Cool Gray 7 or C7 marker. Looks like this one's drying out too. Just kind of fill this in. Yeah, the only markers I use now are really, like if I'm gonna go cheap mecha, I would go with the Ohuhu or Bianyo markers. That's what I would go with personally. I think they're a great deal. They work really well too, and they're fairly reliable. You can't refill them, at least as far as I know. But I haven't had to yet either. I think if the Ohuhu markers were refillable, I probably wouldn't use Copic as much. I will say that. Because they are really good. It's just you can't refill them. Alright, so let's take my Cool Gray 7 now. Come in here. I mean, it is Sunday. We don't technically have to do sci-fi, but I may just kick off the weekly challenge today. Alright, so there's a little chamfered edge. So I'm capturing that shadow. And then I'm going to go super dark with this little window here. I do need to go lighter on this edge, but I'll save that for later. So not a big deal. Alright, I think this was a Cool Gray 1 or something like that. For the buttons here, I'll just go ahead and shade these in. Is everything in NYC? I don't know. There's a lot in NYC, though. I know that. I'm curious if you're in the city proper. In Manhattan, I should say. There's just so much to see. You've got the different boroughs, and I don't mean gerbil boroughs. There's a lot to see there, though. So some sort of window there. We'll shade that in. So again, using the under sketch, very light as a foundation, can save you some headache. All right, just fill that in, and then contrast is your friend. Okay, so where you have a surface changing direction, we'll add some contrast. That's going to help it read a lot better. Alright, this wheel isn't as big as I drew it in here, but whatevs. Let me see if I can change this a little bit. It's a little bit smaller. There we go. Now throw in some dark space around it. Yeah, something like that. And looks like we also have a recess around the buttons. Again, I'm just trying to go from the photo that Charlene did, as well as, or the sketch that Charlene did, as well as the photo reference I have here. Chicago is this coming week, it wasn't this week. Hello, Welcome Artist. Question about, do I draw digital? Yes, I do draw digitally. Usually I would, but we're doing kind of a review of what's called Fan Friday on this channel, and I didn't stream Friday, so we're doing it today. And Charlene, one of our patrons, channel members, submitted a sketch, so just going over that, giving some feedback, some things to improve perhaps. And you know what? There's things I could improve. There's always something that you can make better. All right? Always. I think. Because I'm not perfect. There is always something you can make better. All right. So let's shade in the rest here. And I think I have, I mean, it's a very gray product. And like I said, I probably could have used a warm gray instead, but we're just gonna roll with it. So at this point, I'm going to still use the ballpoint pen, because if you like to use ballpoint pen, this is the key right now. So now that I'm done with my marker, mostly done, now I'm gonna come in with the ballpoint pen. So you see that? Now I'm gonna come in and hit those lines. All right, so it's kind of a matter of sequence when you use the pen and I suppose a little bit of how. But now that I've got my tones in, I can add some clarity with the lines. But yeah, I do sketch digitally. I use Procreate and Adobe Fresco primarily. I've had people ask me to try or test other apps. Just a matter of time and efficiency and what I know already coming into play, but maybe I will. I'm not going to draw the exact symbols here, but rather just kind of hint at them now. And so you can kind of see, because I'm doing this after, I don't have to worry about the marker bleeding. You're getting a little sheen on the camera, but if I just angle this slightly, you'll kind of see that's what it looks like now. Right. Hello, Kamal. Micron's the best source. It depends. I'm going to be using microns for one of the activities today, maybe two, of the other sketches, but I did decide today I wanted to do primarily paper, but I'd recommend just subscribing, turning on alerts, and you can kind of see some of the digital stuff as well. I typically use an iPad Pro rather than a Wacom tablet, but I do have a Wacom tablet. So I have a 2-screen setup with my computer here, and one of those screens is a Wacom Cintiq, so I do that from time to time. Okay, so now we can come in, clean this up, do your ballpoint thing, rotate your page, all that good stuff. All right, we'll get this edge, don't worry, we'll get this edge. So now I'm just gonna lightly sketch in this little chamfered edge that's a part of this product. So the light sketch line here will help communicate. Again, if I just slightly angle, it's just because of the light overhead. So if it looks super washed out. And it's one of the benefits of getting access to the Google Drive folder, so that I upload all the sketches for you to check out. I think there's a volume indicator on Charlene's sketch, but I'll just scribble that in. We'll just scribble it in. Happy little scribble. Okay, so now, same thing here. Add this part line and the outline of the product. A little bit curved. Nice bold line. Ghost your line. So ghost just means I'm hovering over the page, and then I can hit that line the way I want it to be. Just like that. And I can just do this all day. Just like that. And maybe a little bit of texture in here. Again, normally I wouldn't just use, I forgot a little, there's a little play icon here. There's lots of, this product is very busy. There's lots of stuff happening. But I forgot a little thing right there, so I'm gonna throw that in. We'll finish it up. Also this window needs to be a little bit darker. So we'll capture that. Maybe this is a little reflection, so if you're curious, why did he leave that? We've talked about reflections and kind of how to do that before, so you can always search the channel or go to sketchaday.com/videos. It's a great place to go if you need some additional help. All right, so if I'm doing any other touch-up after the fact, you know, like maybe I want to tone this out. I'm trying to avoid hitting those new sketch lines that I put up, because I don't want this to bleed. All right, I don't want it to bleed. What's up, Lost in Acoustic? How you doing? Good to see you. Latrice says, love my Wacom Cintiq. Yeah, they're fun. I just don't use mine enough. All right, so for the shadow here, I'm gonna use this Pilot Super Marker because I love it. So juicy. All right, little shadow there. Again, if I slightly angle, you can kind of see with the light not hitting it as much. All right, so we're not done yet. We're not done yet. I need to do some white pencil as well as white pen. So let's grab this white pen here. Where is my white pencil? I say that like you guys would know. I say that like you'd know where my pencil is. I mean, I have tons of them. I just kind of throw them everywhere, and then I forget. Oh, there's the glasses I made. Then I forget everywhere. So give me just a sec. Oh, you don't use yours a ton, Latrice? More iPad? Is that where you're at now? Shoot! Why can't I find this white pencil? It's so embarrassing. Just kidding, it's not embarrassing. Just a minute. This is pretty wild though. Usually I have the white pencils out, so this is kind of weird. And I do want to use a white pencil specifically. On some of these sketches I can get away with using a like gray pencil. This Faber-Castell white pen though, it has kind of a translucent vibe to it, color, so it's gonna lighten up this edge just enough. All right, what kind of pencil do I have? I just have Prismacolor pencils. I thought I grabbed one, but I didn't, I guess. So they're just like I think they're wax-based pencils, but they're like a soft, I don't have it here. They're like a soft, oh, here it is. Ha, found it. Soft lead pencil. So there's the tip of the pencil there. It's really soft, but also opaque. Make things pop. Right, so I wanna be subtle with it. You can be subtle or not, whatever you want to do. But I also have, so like even here, for example, I might not do this normally, but I just want to show you. Like if you went too dark, for example, and you're like, oh, I just want to lighten up this side, you can almost treat the marker like a piece of toned paper. And now if I want to add some reflected light, which happens to also give it texture, we can add that in, right? So there you go. Okay, so I'm going to throw in some dummy text. All right, just some dummy text for these FM signals. All right, there's like some numbers here, looks like. So I'm just going to throw in just some dummy text. And we've got some dots as well. Right there. Maybe a little text here. Got our volume thing going, right? A couple little flecks for texture. There's also this little symbol, right, that's kind of cut in. So I like to add a little bit of white to those edges. It kind of helps. This window is a little bit darker as well, so I need to shade that in. Actually, it's really dark, almost black. Thought I grabbed a black marker, but maybe I didn't. Pretty sure I did. Here it is. This is also dry, or dry-ish. So yeah, I can add some black here. So if you are going to be using markers though, if you use them from the same color family or brand of marker, that's probably your best bet as far as getting consistency. Then this also says, let's see, it says FM, AM. Then there's some text here. I'm not going to write it all out. And some squiggly logo. And it says G, P, X. Alright, so something like that. Would I draw anime or realistic? I've done characters, so if you check out the stream previous to this one, I did a steampunk character you can check out. Occasionally I'll do anime requests. It's not my forte or exactly what I love to do, but I can do it. I've been watching Attack on Titan final season. That's been interesting for sure. I'm a product designer by trade, and so a lot of what I do is product design related. A lot. Okay, I'm gonna throw a little background in here now. Let's keep it funky. Let's keep it 80s. Alright, so maybe something like this. Normally I'd use a ruler for this too, but I'm just gonna go for it today. But yeah, normally I'd use a ruler, and I can tell it's a little bit off, so let's see if I can tweak this slightly. Do some visual magic. Magic. It's magic. That's from whatchamacallit, Arrested Development. But yeah, I've been watching Attack on Titan. It's a really weird show, but I feel like I'm so invested in it now that I have to just finish it. It's like I've been watching it for a couple years now. So I'm like, I gotta finish that. I'm about to watch Dragon Ball Super with my kids. So I'm like, hey, check out this show that I used to watch as a kid. And Carl Nass, Steve Houston, Matt Matesi for design. Okay, cool. I'll check them out. Mecha. Alright, Charlene, I don't know if you're still watching, but hopefully this has been somewhat helpful for you. We're 55 minutes in, so yeah, I think I'm gonna skip ahead and just introduce the challenge. It's something I've done before, but I'm gonna encourage you all to try it. I guess I could keep the challenge related, or I could keep the sketch related to the challenge, but also sci-fi themed. That would work. And I found another white pencil. Go figure. Go figure. So that's how I would do ballpoint. Again, you have to be careful. You can see I made a mistake right there, right? So you want to kind of avoid that. If you did make a mistake, you could always take a white pen and just come in and clean it up. Kind of like white out. All right, just like that. And that cleans it up. All right, so not exactly the same thing, but I'd say fairly close. Fairly close. No problem, Charlene. Thank you for being a Patreon supporter, fan, and help. As well as you, Mecha Art. You and the gerbils. Alright, so there we go. little Walkman. Ouch, my knee's killing me. Little Walkman sketch. That's good. That's good feedback, Mecha Art. Focus on enjoying your art for sure. If I did YouTube just for attention, I wouldn't do it. Because logistically, it actually doesn't make sense for me. But I actually enjoy. All right, so here's our first sketch. So last week, like I said, and every week we do a challenge. So for this week, what we're gonna do is the Scribble Challenge. Scribble Challenge, yay! So the way this works, and it usually works better if you have someone else to do the scribble for you. It works better if someone else does the scribble, but you can just put some random lines, strokes, whatever on the page, and then see what you can come up with. So it's challenging in that sense that it's going to push your creativity, but also your ability to execute and come up with something. All right. So once again, I'm Spencer. I'm an industrial designer, product designer. I mean, okay. So I've been going through this whole existential conundrum lately. Do you guys want to hear about it? You can say no. You don't have to. But I am known as an industrial designer and known as a product sketcher. I'll put it that way. And then if you want to hear, I'll tell you my whole thoughts that I think I've finally settled on. You can draw a character, you can do whatever. But I'm going to be, let me get rid of Charlene's image here. Not that it's bad or anything. We're just changing topics. Okay. So scribble game is something like this. You might do a couple scribbles. You know, 1, 2, 3. And then try and turn these into something. All right, so this one I see maybe a fashion sketch, a lady in a cool dress walking or something. This one I could turn into some sort of weird sci-fi thing. This one looks like a spaceship of some sort you can turn to. So you can look at your scribbles and then just get creative. So let's do that. Let's do 3 different things here. So I'm gonna start with this one because I kind of like doing these weird sci-fi veiny awkward things. So someone asked about microns earlier, if they're great. These I'm gonna just keep to microns. All right, these are by Sakura of America. Just some microns. And in this case, I'm just being a little bit abstract here. All right, so using the lines to texture. If you're curious about pen and ink, I do have a pen and ink guide that I worked on. These are all free for patrons and channel members, by the way. And there's no requirement for how long you're a patron or channel member, so I think it's actually a better deal. Of course, it's, you know, on your honor. I hope that you would stay, but I do want to show you a little bit of that. Hold, please. Why is this not working? Why is this not working? All right, let's see if I can do this. Okay, there we go. So, pen and ink guide. This is the PDF available on my website. All right, so it's a guide on how to choose pens, a few tips. And I don't know if any of you picked it up or checked it out. Let the chat know what you think. But it goes over a few techniques, tips, tricks, different brands, differences in approach. So there's a ballpoint and felt or solid ink drawing. How you hold your pen matters, things like that. You know, a bit of the expression you can get out of lines, different types of lines, line weight, texture. Let's see. And then just to, oops, did I mess that up? I hope I didn't. just to show you as well, way in the back here, there's also demos. So it's like, I know this is one of those demos where it's like, start with a squiggle and then you end up with a bird. But here's how I use a ballpoint pen, right? And build that texture until you get that thing. So a bit simplified. There's also a car sketch in here, goes through that whole process. We've got a hair dryer, a little doodad, techno doodad, a mouse. So I think this one has like 5 demos plus a bunch of sample artwork. So if you're interested in pen and ink, that's a good place to start. All right, and that's just available at sketchaday.com, or if you sign up to be a channel member or patron. All right, so I'm gonna keep going here. Music brought to you by Final Kaiju, aka Paul Sohi. Thank you, Paul, for helping out. I need to see when he's gonna drop some more beats, but if you like this type of stuff, you can always follow him on Instagram at fuse.ps. So yeah, pen and ink's funny. Not funny. It's fun in the sense that, you know, you can get, it takes time, but you can get some interesting things out of it. I kind of want to turn this into like maybe a weird flower of some sort. Like maybe it's some weird orchid type flower. I didn't get Inception. You know what movie I didn't get at first, but now that I've watched it like 5 times. Tenet. Have you seen Tenet? Yeah, I feel like this is some weird flower. This is some weird flower business. So I'm gonna go with that theme. Some weird botanical thing. So this is a challenge for this week. Draw a scribble, turn it into something. So I'm gonna do a flower. I'll do some sort of fashion lady. I know I don't think Lori's watching, one of our patrons, but I'm sure she'll appreciate that. But you can take it any way you want. If you like drawing characters, you could try and turn your scribbles into characters. If you like products, you could try and turn them into products. If you're like me and you just like weird sci-fi stuff, you could turn your scribble into weird sci-fi stuff. Totally fine. Right? And you can add lines to your sketch as well. Right? But the idea here being, I'm trying to use the lines that are on the page in a way that makes sense for whatever it is I'm drawing. So with Sakura markers, or not markers, but the pigments here, I'm gonna show you something like how I add color if I want to. You could always use their water-based. You could always use their water-based markers. That's one way to do it. I can break those out and show you as well. Or we can use the airbrush, the air marker. And that's where you connect a Copic marker to an air compressor. And then you can basically treat your marker like an airbrush. It's pretty fun. Music brought to you by DJ Sketchaday. Actually, this is one of the experiments I've been playing with musically. One of the more successful ones anyways. It's hard. It's hard. It's learning new stuff, but I love learning new things. All right, so what I was alluding to earlier when I said I'm a designer and I hesitated somewhat is that I've recently realized or accepted that my skill, my talent does not lie merely in design, but actually I'm good at learning how to do new things. Whether it's, hey, did you know I build furniture, guys? I build furniture. I've done interior design stuff, architecture. I mean, thematically anyways, I do tend to kind of stay in that similar space, but I also play the guitar a little bit. learning how to produce music, like I said. So for me, it's more about having a passion for learning than anything else as far as what I do. This micron tip is a little bit messed up, you can tell. But let's go ahead and create a little bit of a gradient here, just so we have a nice dark spot. I think I'll kiss this one with just a touch of airbrush to color it. Maybe like a light pink for the flowers. Or it could be some sort of persimmon, fuchsia type thing. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. I mean, we could even combine these two, but I don't want to. I'm just gonna say this is the, mostly because I wanted to do a spaceship too. Let's just go ahead and do a little texture here. It takes a little time, but it's kind of fun. Just do a scribble texture, and then I'll figure out what to do with the top portion here. I don't think I have voles in my yard. It's actually a raccoon, but good memory. I was dealing with some holes in my yard and I couldn't figure out what was happening, for those who don't know. And I caught this chunky raccoon on video. This chunky little guy. Although I haven't seen the raccoon holes around lately, so I'm wondering if the raccoon was caught or if something happened. I'll never know, because we'll never have our final conversation together or interaction. Poor raccoon. Alright, so this is just a little randomized stroke. It's something I talk about again in that inking guide, so you can always check it out if you're curious or interested in leveling up on your inking skills, or better yet, become a Patreon channel member. Then hit me up. Alright, so I gotta figure out what to do here, but I think on this side I can treat it like this petal here. Maybe even have like a little, I forgot what this is called, but something similar to a hibiscus plant coming out there. I know it's really weird. If it makes you uncomfortable, don't worry. I'll move on to the next scribble soon. So the challenge is get a scribble, have someone scribble for you, or do it yourself. Or do it yourself and see. I don't even know what I meant by do it yourself. But I'll just say, see how it goes. Trial and error, man. Do what you love and do it often. Alright, in here, ouch. My knee is like, it's like killing me. Alright, I'm gonna do some weird bulbous thing in here. Just because I want to. And because I can. Couple dots for texture. Yeah, so this is a nice fill. So some sort of weird plant alien growth thing. That's what we'll call this one. Some sort of weird plant alien growth. So you should be able to knock out a few of these, you know, just challenge and push yourself. See what you can come up with. If you want to look at other artists' work for inspiration, that's fine too. I guess I should have recorded the before and after for my scribble. Maybe I'll take a picture of the other two before before I go ahead here. You can join the Discord. I can't promise that I personally will comment or critique, but there's a pretty vibrant community. Right, it's people there that are better at me at some other things, that I'm sure would be willing to help or give critique. I believe as far as drawing goes, I believe that you can draw anything you want, whether it's anime, humans, portraits, whatever. If you just approach your work in the right way, with the right attitude, and maybe armed with a few techniques, you can figure stuff out. Okay. But yeah, crazy morning, like I said, getting my phone number stolen. That was just wild. Absolutely wild. But I am glad that is no longer the case. All right. What's the Discord called? If you go to sketchaday.com/discord, so my website is sketchaday.com. Hello, Anne. What's up? We're doing the Scribble Challenge this week. Yeah, so Mecha Art, what happened, no one stole the phone itself. It was just, there's this thing called sim jacking or sim spoofing where people can basically put an in-between. As far as I know, I don't know. I'm not a technical, I mean, I shouldn't say I'm not technical, but I know enough. Anyhow, so they spoof a device that your cell phone normally communicates with. And you could be driving along. You could just be out and about in public. Someone gets your whatever information, and then they like can have all your text messages, for example, go to a different spot or location. Thankfully, that was not the case. That didn't. I was gonna take a picture of this. Thankfully, my cell phone provider caught it before it was an issue. All right, just want to get a picture. Thankfully, my provider caught it before it was an issue, but I was a little bit freaked out for a minute, because I wasn't sure how the day was gonna go, frankly. All right, so I think I'm gonna do maybe some sort of giant World War II inspired airship. So again, the idea being you just take one of your scribbles and then see if you can turn it into something. You can always add lines, of course. As needed. Just throw some panels in here. So kind of weird, but also a bit fun. Kind of see what you can come up with. I'm intentionally saving the last one here just because I'm not the best at people. So I'm gonna switch things up a little bit for that one. Alright, so maybe something like this. Alright. Let's see here. Just trying to mirror these left to right. Alright, so something like that. Boom. A little bit faster, but you can turn your scribble into some art. I think it's a good buy, Latrice. The 48 set, or I got the 128 marker set, I think. Or I don't remember how many. It was like 100 and something markers, but it was only like 70 something bucks. And I say only because I use my markers a lot. If you don't use your markers a ton, it's probably not worth it to get more, but it seemed like a good deal for me. Seemed like a really good deal. And my only complaint with them is you can't refill them. That's the only thing. Other than that, it's totally fine. Alright, so maybe something like that. Oh, just getting back into markers. Nice. Okay, so this one now, I see maybe some sort of fashion thing. Right, like maybe this is a dress of some sort. At least that's the way I kind of saw it. I don't know where her other leg is. Maybe it's off to the side here. Because I don't want to draw the hand, I'll put a big pocket in, but maybe some sort of interesting dress. I should have had this leg go a bit differently, but I'll just go with it. Doesn't matter. Alright. So yeah, just using the scribble now. And maybe she just has a bun on head. Maybe a belt of some sort. Trying to figure out what this outfit's like, but could be something like that. Oh yeah, I did say I'd use some ear markers, so I'll try and do that. '50s Vogue. That's cool. So yeah, this dress I could throw some yellow on, maybe just quick, easy wash. Seems like I will say, it seems like the Sakura pens work better with these chart pack markers than they do with anything else. So I will say that. So that's good to know. That's definitely good to know. Forgot what skin tone markers work really well, but I'll just go with it. We'll just roll with it. Alright, just a little wash there. And then this one, like I said, it seems like the chart pack works really well with it. So I don't necessarily need to do the airbrush. But yeah, the challenge this week is to do a scribble. So do a scribble, see what you come up with. See if you can creatively do something interesting. Go from there. Alright, I'm not being as careful as see, I messed up there. Not being as careful as I should be. So I'm gonna do a quick mask using the trusty post-it note method stolen from Joey Celadon, the designer I follow on Instagram. So you can take some post-it notes and you can like create a quick mask, if you will. Yeah, bro. Super quick mask. I don't know her. So if you just wanted to color something, that was a yellow-green 6. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but we'll just go with it. And then I've got this like olive green. Alright, airbrush a little bit. and I want to get some like contrasting colors here. So the post-it note method works really well just because it's fast. I don't have to whip out the Frisket masking film or any crazy stuff like that. And you can get some quick tones. When you use a Copic mirror, it sounds a spray. Exactly. All right, I probably should be careful here, but whatever. Whatevs. Whatevs. So yeah, this setup, if you're in, and again, that's why I like Copic markers, is they are fairly versatile in terms of what you can do. It's got accessories, things like that. So there's all sorts of accessories you can use. I'm just gonna add some overspray just to even it out. But there's lots of accessories you can use. They're fairly modular, replaceable parts if something goes sideways for some reason.
Yeah, bro.
And I kind of like that. I'm gonna need to go darker on this red. And I will. I mean, I don't know how many brands have accessories, but I know Copic does. So for me, that's worth it. As well as yeah, the accessories are worth it, as well as it's a little bit finicky. Sometimes you have to remove the other cap to get the air to flow right. It's just a little bit touchy sometimes. Takes practice, of course, and I'm still learning. But it is fun. It's fun to be able to do that. I'll tilt the paper so you can kind of see what we're dealing with. Alright, so if I tilt the paper, you'll kind of see that's the color there. So I could continue and finish this up, but I'm going to leave it as is. I've been going for an hour and a half so far, which, as it turns out, it's the longest stream I've done in a while. I'm trying to keep them tight. So, all right. So that's a little bit of the scribble game. That's what I want you to try this week. Do a scribble, see if you can turn it into something. Also gave some feedback to Charlene and did a new sketch for her. So I'm going to scan both of these, upload them to the Google Drive folder so you'll have them. All right, totally open to suggestions though. If you have suggestions for weekly topic, hello Akshat. If you have ideas for weekly topics for the weekly sketch challenge, let me know. Actually, Mystery just did a resketch of Charlene's as well. So Charlene, you got people helping you out, other people. And that's what I love about the Discord community, is how much we all help each other. All right, so thank you so much for checking out the stream and for hanging today. All right, I'll just leave these up while I say goodbye. I've got to go work and do a few things, but much love to you. Much love to you. Thanks. I just got another email. I'm like twitchy because I don't know if someone's hacking into my account again. I have no idea. So remember, passion is the process. It's really just about breaking things down and trying to make them make sense to yourself. But what's even better is when you take an opportunity to teach and share something with others. So if you have a chance, definitely redo the sketches. Take some time to show someone what you learned, and it's going to help integrate that knowledge. Special shout out and thanks again to channel members and patrons. If you don't know what that is, check out patreon.com/sketchaday. It's a way to support what I'm doing on a monthly basis, of course, with some perks, some benefits, and I'm going to be working to make that better. So I do appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank you. It's not my main job, but I certainly appreciate the contributions, and it means a lot. So if there's anything I can do for you channel members or patrons, you let me know. You know the drill. All right, thanks to those who watched as well. Thanks for hanging. Shout out to NYC Everything once again for the super chat. Thank you for your contribution as always. Have a happy Sunday, happy and blessed Sunday. I hope you get some rest, and I'll see you next time right here on Sketchaday. Remember, Scribble Challenge this week for the weekly sketch challenge. I want to see your sketches, and I will be posting and sharing those. All right, take care.